The number one responsibility for us as believers is to raise our children in the ways of God. That's first and foremost. And that relates to every other area. Ephesians 6:4 says, "Fathers, do not exasperate your children," or I learned it as, "Fathers, do not provoke your children unto wrath." Don't do things that intentionally anger your children. In fact, some of that anger can continue on all throughout life. If you did not have the best dad growing up, the best thing you can do for him and for you is to forgive him. Forgive him. And even if things were terrible, don't let your father continue to have that power over your life. And the only way you can do that is by forgiving and doing better. Because we learn from what not to do and we learn what to do. And so forgive. So provoke not your children to wrath. Bring them up in the training and in the instruction of the Lord. Some people would say, well, I'll let my children decide what they're going to believe. It's interesting that we don't do that in any other area except when it relates to the things of God. We don't say, we don't turn the burner on the stove on and say, well, I'll let my children decide whether they're going to touch that hot burner or not. We don't say, I'm going to let my children decide, I'm going to put them on the roof of the house, and if they decide to jump, that's on them. But when it comes to religious things, some people say, well, I'll let my children decide. That's eternally dangerous. Eternally dangerous. The Bible never teaches that we're just to let our children do whatever they want. No, when they're young, we're to train them up in the ways of the Lord. We're to bring them up in the training and the instruction of the Lord. And then they have every opportunity to accept Christ. Now, none of us as parents can force our children to believe. When they reach a certain age, they have to make that decision. I grew up in church, godly parents, godly grandparents, all the way. But at some point in my life, I had to make that decision for me. But what the best we can do is to give them opportunity, every opportunity, to accept Christ as their Lord and Savior. And then they'll make a decision based on what they have seen. And Christianity it's often caught and not taught. And another way that I'll say it is you don't have to lecture them if you live it. Just live it daily. Live in the things of the Lord. Live in the ways of the Lord. That's how God designed it. That's how God designed it. I have three simple points to share that go along with raising your children in the ways of the Lord. First, raise them in church. There's no substitute for this. We as parents will all be responsible before God to know the truth, but also to make sure that our children have an opportunity to hear and to receive the truth. In church, they'll hear the word of God. In church, they'll have opportunity to serve others, to stop thinking so much about themselves and to think about God and to think about how they can help others. In church, they'll have opportunity to make godly friends. In church, they'll have godly examples of others that have lived out the faith for decades, that have gone through storms and difficulties and have continued to serve the Lord. We were born and we were raised in church, and to be honest with you, it didn't hurt me at all. It helped me. And I can tell you, because I remember, I did not want to be in church every time we were in church. I did not want to be there. I didn't want to be there cleaning the church. I didn't want to be there sitting listening to the pastor preach. I sat in the back with the pastor's son, about where Glenn and Leslie are sitting. I'm just teasing you guys. We sat in the back there, just so you know I can see you. That's all right. God bless you, Glenn. I don't know how you do it. But anyway, I'm just kidding. We would sit back there, and what was funny is our church was smaller than this, and we thought we were hiding back there. Then when I became a pastor and looked at it from this perspective, you know, it's so funny. But we would sit back there, and we would play games like every other kid, and we would play tic-tac-toe and dots, where you draw the dots, and then you had to draw the line and all of that. And we would do all of this. And then when we got a little bit older, we thought we were smart. We would sneak out during the special service, whatever it was. We had a lot of special services. And then we would go play basketball in the gym and then sneak back in during prayer time as if our parents didn't notice. Isn't that funny? We would do all of those things. I grew up in church. We hid. We did things wrong. All of that. But I can tell you, looking back on it, I'm thankful for those times. I'm thankful for the times that I had to come to church. And you know, as I got closer to God, my pastor got to be a lot better preacher. He was a lot better when I had a heart for the Lord. I've regretted a lot of decisions in my life, but I've never regretted growing up in church, and I've never regretted bringing my children to church as they are adults now. Now, we've been in church our whole lives. My children have been in church our whole lives. Some of you know this story, but it's one of my favorites. We planted a church in Greenbrook, and we met in a plaza. And so we had two storefronts, and one was the sanctuary. So it wasn't very big. It sat maybe 50, 60 people at the most. And for some reason, Joseph didn't like this one family. And they were really great people. They're still friends of ours. But he did not like the whole family. He didn't like the daughter. He didn't like the dad, and didn't like the mom. So I was holding him greeting, and the one guy, his name's Barry, came by, and Joseph looked at him, and Joseph was about 3. Maybe 2 or 3, something of that age. Looks at him and just reaches out and smacks him right in the face. Wow. Just smacked him right in the face. I was like, Barry, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, that's all right. I probably deserved it, Barry said. Barry was the guy, I've told you this story before. He said, I've given up, because we were doing ministry and evangelism and stuff, and I didn't have any cash, and he wanted to stop and eat. And I said, Barry, you know, I don't have any cash with me. He goes, Pastor, don't worry. I've given up so many bad habits that I always have money now. So that was Barry. So his wife, also very involved, children's ministry, everything. She was sitting like right in the front row where Pastor Rick was, putting the overheads together. Remember when we used to use overheads for the songs and all that? She was pulling them. Joseph walked in the back, saw her, walked right up the center aisle, and kicks her right in the leg, walks back down and goes and does his thing. The only reason he went in there was to kick this poor lady. It was tremendous. We still laugh about that. And then Barry and Mary, they brought a friend of theirs that was round, healthy, very healthy. So she goes, Joseph, do you want to sit on my lap? Joseph looks up and goes, you don't have a lap. Yes, these are tough things to recover from as the pastor. Wow. These are true stories. So Joseph, by the way, he's leaving for Africa today, and we will pray for him. So we will bless you as I tell these embarrassing stories about you. But anyway, what was that other one? Oh, Joseph was a handful when he was in church. And again, we were in a small church. The whole thing was probably not as big as one area here. And so when he would create a stir, it caused a lot of problems. And every Sunday he was fidgeting with something, or his feet itched. So that was his thing. And he's all over taking his shoes off. And so we talked to our doctor about it, who was a Christian doctor, a very, very good man. And he told Dora what to do. He said, you warn him one time, and then the next time you take him out of church, you take him in the bathroom and you spank him. And so next Sunday, his feet were itching. Dora said, you better knock it off. And he went through his whole shenanigan again. Dora took him out, took him to the bathroom, and spanked him. And he's been good ever since. Honestly, we've never had many problems with Joe. We've never had problems with Lindsay either. The right hand of fellowship to the seat of knowledge. Yeah. That's it. It didn't hurt him. It wasn't abusive. But sometimes you have to get your point across. But anyway, he's been pretty good ever since. We really haven't had any problems with him. Lindsay, I have some for you later. I don't want you to think that. Anyway, I say it jokingly, and I say the fun things. And I have a lot of fun stories of me growing up and my dad catching me doing things and goofing around in the service and with my friends and doing whatever we were doing and looking. And my dad was standing right next to me. You know, I didn't know he snuck up on me. A lot of these things. But I'm thankful that I was raised in church, and I'm thankful that I raised my children in church. Number 2, show up to their events. Put church first, and I believe in that wholeheartedly. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added unto you. But it really says something, and I think this generation is very good at this, and showing up at their children's events and just being there for them. I played basketball when I was in school, and by playing it means I ran the sprints at practice but never really got into the game. That's what I mean by playing. But you know, my parents were there, my dad when he could, but my mom was always there. And it was important to me. And it's important that we show up for their events. my parents came with sports when I was younger, college games when I was at Valley Forge. They would drive 6 hours to watch me sit on the bench for most of the game. My first Sunday in ministry at 21 in Flemington, New Jersey on May 8th of 1988, my parents were there. Of course, for our wedding and children's events when possible. My mom's 86. She still travels out because I'm still her baby. And I remind her of that when I need something. But my mom came out for our 25th anniversary, and she came out for my 50th birthday last year. She still shows up, and my dad's legacy is always with me because we spent so much time together. Bring them up in the training and the instruction of the Lord by bringing them to church, by showing up and just showing your love for them. It really means a lot. Even if they don't catch it when they're younger, they will get that. They will get that you cared as they grow older. That's just so very awesome. Tell them how proud you are of them. This is not one of the points. This is a sub-point. Tell them how proud you are. We watch these cooking shows on the Food Network, and they're always like, the competitions, they're like, oh, I have to win this because I want my parents to be proud of me. And that drives me crazy. How can you live under such pressure that you have to win a cooking show for your parents to be proud of you? So we joke with our kids, we're proud of you all the time. You don't have to go on national TV and win something. We want you to know that we're always proud of you. And the last one is maybe the most important thing in all relationships, and it's very simple. Pay attention. Pay attention when they talk. And I'm the worst at this. Pay attention when they talk. That's for marriages. That's for children. That's every relationship. Pay attention. This is hard for men. Men, I don't want to break, I hope I'm not stepping on something here. Men don't talk as much as women. I don't know if that's true. Is that true? Couple people. I'm trying to draw you out on the limb with me, but nobody is accepting my offer. Men don't talk as much as women. Men read the headline and recite the headline. Women read the headline and then recite the whole article. So my day is, how was your day? Good. That's it. It was good. Other people, as I'm being careful here, I don't know how to say it, but that's okay. We'll read the headline, it was a good day, and then the whole article. And I've found, because I'm so terrible at it, how much I need to work on that, to pay attention. Not just in marriage, but let me relate it to your children. What comes out of their mouth is what's in their heart. So if you want the key to your child's heart, and each child is different, so each key is different. If you want the key to your child's heart, pay attention to them and listen to them. Not just being there, but actually paying attention to what they're saying. Listen to what is said. Listen to what is not said. Listen with your eyes. Listen with your ears. Listen with your heart. Pay attention when you're with them. Don't be distracted. Don't be so busy. Don't be so tired. Don't be so dull. I actually have in my notes dumb, but I don't want to say that. Don't be so dull. Be there. And you know what? It'll pay dividends for you in the future. And there's 1,000 other things that we could talk about. But I just wanted to share, most importantly, raise your children in the things of the Lord. It will save them and you a lot of grief because what God has for them is even better than what we want for them. And we want the blessings of the Lord to be upon them. And so raise them in church, show up to their events, pay attention when they talk, and it will reap dividends because you know that someday your children will have to take care of you. Okay? Here's Lindsay's story. We're sitting at our round table, our round kitchen table, and Dora sits across from me, and Lindsay on this side, and Joe on the other, and we were joking, and I said, our retirement plan is 6 months with you and 6 months with you, and Lindsay, without me missing a beat, goes, Joey, you can have him for 8. Yeah, just hurt my feeling, but she bought me a fidget spinner for Father's Day, a Batman fidget spinner, and so Lindsay and I are good now. We're good. No problem in that. Well, bless your children, and they will bless you in return. I'm thankful to have Pastor Rick come at this time and share from a grandfather's perspective. I'm not ready yet, but I will be ready when the time comes to be a grandfather. God bless you, Pastor Rick. Thanks so much.
Great.
Thanks for helping out.
I love being with children. There should be a Ganalf. Yes, that's not German. It just means grandfathers are not at all like fathers. And I think that probably explains everything about us. And I was looking through the Bible, and I found a verse of Scripture. I think that relates to what I'm trying to accomplish, hopefully, this morning. It's Psalm 78, verses 3 through 7. And here's what it says. Things we have heard and known, things our ancestors have told us. We will not hide them from their descendants. We will tell the next generation the praiseworthy deeds of the Lord, his power and wonders he has done. He decreed statutes to Jacob and established the law of Israel. And he commanded our ancestors to teach their children. There are two words that pop out instantly as we look at the text. The first one is tell. And grandfathers, we love to tell stories. We have unending stories to tell. Some are true and some are not because they just kind of come to us. But we love to teach our grandchildren. And here's what it says in verse 6, and here's why. So the next generation would know them. It is so important as a grandfather that we tell our stories, and we need to invest in our grandchildren's lives. Even the children not yet born. I need to let you know it is wonderful. I have 7 grandchildren, and I love each and every one of them. But the ones who live closer, we have a different relationship. It's not that I love them more. I love all of them, but there's just a unique relationship by virtue of proximity. We do things together. We go out for hamburgers. They haven't yet learned my phenomenal love of hot dogs, but I'm working on it. But if there's a hamburger joint, we will definitely check out the hamburger joint. You see, grandfathers play a role in every child's life. An author who we always call unknown said this, a grandfather is someone with silver in his hair, I'm working on it, and gold in his heart, and it helps to have cash in your pocket. I don't mean anything by that, but spoil. I'm into spoiling my grandchildren. I said no too much as a father. I did not know that yes is a good word. I thought yes was the word that you never used as a father, and so I just said no. What I'm learning as a grandfather, that yes is a wonderful word. I say yes a lot. And I do things, I do things with my grandchildren I would never do with my children. Like I have throwing knives, 3 of them that I bought. I would never do that as a father. I bought a hatchet so they can chop down trees. I bought an axe. I bought a brand new lawnmower. John, you're to blame. John Horn has one of these with the sticks. So I bought one of those, so we do that. I hid something from Amma. I bought a weed whacker with attachments. So now I have an attachment for weed whacking. I bought one with a chainsaw on it. I don't necessarily need it, but the grandkids and I went to a power store and we just saw it, and we thought it would look good in my garage, so that's where it's at. But we just have fun with that. One grandchild description of a grandfather was, Grandpa has ears to truly listen, arms that always hold, love that's never ending, and hearts that are made of gold. Another grandchild wrote this, some people don't believe in heroes, but then the child says this, but they haven't met my grandpa. You see, that's my goal. I absolutely live to be a grandpa. I do live for Christ, I do. But I do live to be a grandpa. I'm glad that my daughter, her husband, and family are here, and it's awesome. And this is what I would tell my Opa. I lost my Opa when I was 6 years old. That's my mother's dad. His first name was Heinrich. One of my middle names is Heinrich. So here I am, a kindergartner, and they asked me for my name, and it's Ulrich Heinrich Huldreich Holm. It's the kind of thing that you do jumping jacks with. I probably told you that before. But I'm extremely proud of having that name Heinrich as part of my name. Because it's because of Opa that I have a phenomenal love. I love mushrooms. Anything with mushrooms is number one. If you have oatmeal and mushrooms, I'm going to eat it because I love mushrooms. His appreciation for working with wood. is in my system. I have his DNA. I love the smell of wood. I like to work with wood. It's something I would like to do more often. My love for the outdoors come from him. But a number of years ago, I listened to a missionary, and the missionary had this, but it kind of stuck in my head. And the missionary asked the native, "Why did you take that?" Because he kind of appropriated it illegally. And here's what the native said: "It was Grandpa in me that stole it." You see, all of us leave our DNA in our grandchildren. They are part of who we are. It is who they are. We can't just say, well, the good parts you got from me and the bad parts you got from mom's side of the family. In my case, that's true. No, it's not. It was Ginny. I may be in trouble. But you see, we do impact, we do imprint our grandchildren. This is who we as grandparents are. And I absolutely love being a grandpa. If Ava looks at me, whatever she wants, it's hers. I don't care what it is, it's a done deal. If the boys look at me, if they say something, I'm going to work on a deal to figure out how can I do this for them. It is my privilege to do that. But it is also my privilege to pray for them. You see, we either set up the next generation or we will set them back. We have this kind of an influence in our grandchildren. What you and I may do in moderation, the next generation will do in excess. So be careful what little eyes will see and little ears will hear. You see, here's the whole heart of the message. If we do not possess a biblical faith, then the next generation will either be captivated or captured by culture. And see, grandparents are usually expected to be different than parents. Here's a survey, and whoever did the survey asked the grandchildren what their grandpas do. Well, here's what the child said, the children said, most of them, similar, different wording. They have better stories to tell than dads do. They need more naps. But here, I love this one. This is so true. They let you do things that fathers say that you are not old enough to do. We threw those throwing knives. And I told my son, his name is Owen, I said, Owen, the one thing you can't do, you can't throw it at anybody. So Owen takes this throwing knife, it's kind of weighted at the end so it would always stick, and Owen just kind of throws it at us. I missed all of us by just inches. I said, see, buddy, this is why Appa said you don't throw it at anybody, because we could get hurt. Did I yell? No. Did I scream? No. Did I do anything? No, I didn't. I didn't punish. I didn't hit. I just laughed because grandfather. You see, this is who we are. We're grandfathers. You see, grandfathers also tell their kids that you are the greatest child ever. We're not looking for perfection. We just love being with our grandchildren. The New International Version has a word for grandchildren. It occurs 6 times for grandfathers and 6 times for grandmothers. And here's what Proverbs 17:6 says: children's children are the crown of men. That talks about us. And our grandchildren are our crown. 4 things real quick, and then I'm done. We demonstrate a spiritual dimension to them. You see, Grandpa's conviction must always be based upon the biblical principles. The values of scriptures must be ours. Number 2, aim to keep in touch with each grandchild. I love having 7 grandchildren. I love that some are just 15 miles down the road. I love that I have a sticker on my car that says I can go a little faster than the average New Jerseyan, because I get to go to my grandkids that much faster. I love being at their ball games. It takes me an hour and 20 minutes by flight to go to South Carolina, 13 and a half hours by car. Guess which way I'm going. I love to fly. And a couple of months ago, for Jenny's dad's funeral, we were upgraded by an act of God to first class. I think it's an act of God. I will never drive coach again. First class is, those chairs are big. Then they give you heated towels that you can wash your hands with. And they give you real food. You don't get these little, you get food. So keep in touch. Do whatever you need to do to stay in touch with each. Remember their birthdays. Here's where yes comes in. It's okay to spoil them with money. You are not going to take it with you. God gave you the money to invest in your family. Family is más importante. I hope I said that correctly. Sehr wichtig. It's the most important thing in the world. It is why we live, so that we can influence. Number 3, we support our grandchildren parents. We are not the Supreme Court. Our children do not have to raise our grandchildren the way that we raise them. If mom and dad do something that we may disagree with, we have a wonderful privilege. It's called a closed mouth. We don't say a word. We don't interfere at all. We do have, number 4, we have the power to pray. And I want to share with you why we should pray. Romans 12 says this: continue instantly and continually in prayer. You see, never grow weary. We should pray for our children, for their mate. We should pray for their ordinary needs. We should pray for their extraordinary needs. We should pray for our children's salvation, that they will always have someone that walks along their way, that knows of the Lord and loves the Lord. And pray for your grandchildren, that they will have wisdom to face life issues, that they will build a reputation based on hard work and honesty. I have this privilege. I bought all those toys I told you about, and John Hahn is to blame because he had them, and I thought, man, this is awesome. His lawnmower goes 150 miles an hour, turns on a dime, and just, love that thing. But I bought it because I want to have time with my grandkids. And I know that if it's for the grandkids, Alma is persuadable. And so I simply used it, but here it is. Everything in life has a teaching moment. When Roman used one of my lawnmowers, and he found a bunch of rocks, and he learned that rocks and grass are different densities. And so when he busted the blade on that push mower, if I had been a father, I would have said, what in the world are you doing? Couldn't you see it? Didn't you? That's not who grandfathers are. As a grandfather, I went over, Rome, what happened? He said, Appa, I hit a stone. I said, did we learn something? You see, we look for teaching moments. I don't care if the lawnmower breaks. Not the new one, the old one. I don't care if we break it, because I was just so glad that, number 1, I saw him, but number 2, he was safe. He was safe. Because I get to hug his neck and kiss his face again. And by the way, tell your grandchildren every chance you have, we do this. And they may be embarrassed. I hope they're not, because there isn't a conversation that we don't end with, I love you. And if you saw me as Ava and Cohen walked in, you saw me kissing them. I kiss every grandchild, and I tell them I love you when I get to the house and when I leave the house, because I'm a grandfather. Also, to pray for them that they would be quick to confess their sins, that they would actively fight against the forces of darkness. Pray for their spiritual growth. Pray that they would never lose their heart for praying. Pray that they would never give in to temptation. Life is hard. And school is not the way school was for us. It is different today. And as grandparents, we have the privilege every morning, every noon, and every evening to lift our grandchildren before the throne of God's grace and to pray for them. Pray for them that their love would not grow weary, that their faith would not fail. You see, when Samuel, in 1 Samuel chapter 12 and verse 23, and then I'm going to show you 2 pictures and then we'll close. When Samuel was an elderly leader in Israel, and the king was elected, the people asked Samuel this. They said, Samuel, do not stop praying for us. Here's Samuel. God forbid that I would sin against the Lord in ceasing to pray for you. That's my mission. I'm a grandfather. I don't raise grandchildren. My answer is yes. I always make sure, even if I have to ask Sister Honey for the advance and allowance, that I always have money. And my mission is to spoil them immeasurably. In my love, in my compassion, in my affection, in my prayers. Because when everything is said and done, I view my life, if you could show that picture, please. This is the Burj Khalifa. I hope I'm saying it correctly. It's in Brunei. It is currently the tallest building in the world. It is over 2,717 feet tall. It has 163 floors. This is my life as a grandfather with my kids. I absolutely love it. Let me show you the next picture. This is how everything looks from the top. 1.8 million people last year went to see this beautiful tower. But I don't think there was a single person that asked this question: how deep is the foundation of this building? That building that you see, that you're looking down upon and you see Dubai, has 192 columns. Each column is 5 feet wide and 154 feet deep into the ground. On top of those columns rests a round disc of concrete that is 12 feet thick. And on top of that, you have the beautiful picture that you saw before. When I was 50, and I only had one grandchild. His name is Hector, named after his dad. One of my favorite heroes in Greek mythology is my fat hand and then a little hand. That's what this is all about. Holding their hand and being there. So this, before I turn it over to Pastor, I'm wondering if you wouldn't mind joining me and clap your hands together for every grandpa that is here. And Pastor, you will enjoy being a grandpa. And Sister Dory, you will enjoy being grandma. God bless you. Pastor, would you come?